ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति 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 वासुदेवेन्द्र योगेन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते नित्यं शुद्धं निराभासं निराकारं निरञ्जनम् नित्यबोधं चिदानन्दं गुरुं ब्रह्मं नमाम्यहम्.
Okay, right. So here we have seen so far that in the answer to the question, what is Atma? The author has picked up a few prakriyas. Prakriyas is the methodology of communication, thought process. What is communicated? The knowledge. So the methodology adopted in the knowledge communication so that that which is not an object of the senses and yet is an object of one's experience, being the very subject oneself, to help understand this kind of a situation where Atma is not an object of the senses so that you can show it and say this is Atma. It is not an object of one's experience, but it is a subject itself of an experience, in an experience. To convey this successfully so that the listener, the knower, also grasps the vision, the methodology of thought link, knowledge communicated, that is a prakriya. Vedanta uses a few prakriyas. Examples. One of the example is that he has taken is sthula sukshma karana vyatiriktaha atma san. So what is Atma? It is distinct from these three bodies that I can pick up to some extent and pinpoint to some extent and infer the rest. But it is all within my experience that I can pick up and say ये तो मुझे समझ में आ रहा है. स्थूल शरीर, सूक्ष्म शरीर, and I understand the logic from where it comes to say there must be a कारण शरीर. ये समझ में तो आ रहा है. शास्त्र ने कह दिया this is not Atma. So this becomes a prakriya, which means what you are able to, through guided thinking, able to capture it and recognize it in your own existing experiences, scripture will help us to understand its true nature. जिसको हम पहचान पा रहे हैं, scripture makes us understand what its true nature is and then tells us what really is the truth. So sthula sukshma karana sharir, once it has explained it, it now says this is not Atma. Vyatiriktaha, that is one prakriya. The second prakriya he took is avasthatraya sakshi, which we have just concluded before. Avasthatraya sakshi, again, see what is Atma? How does one tell anybody? Supposing there is someone who has forgotten. What was that movie with Amir Khan? He'd forgotten his name somewhere. So if you've forgotten your name itself you've forgotten. Now, how does someone remind you of your name? How does someone remind you of that name? कि तुम ये हो. You already knew it, but somehow there is a blankness about it now. Correct, Rajni. Somehow there is a blankness about it. How does one make someone appreciate what is there but now not recognized? So through the help of these prakriyas, it is helping us point, understand, indicate that what are the three that you can see. We did it in details. My waking gets replaced by dream, my dream gets replaced by my sleep, and my sleep gets replaced by my dream and waking. And this is a cyclical existence in which I feel my life is trapped, or my life is manifest, or my life is existent. They are non-separate from each other. I cannot place my life out of the cycle of the three. The three itself is what I call as my life. And actually, from the standpoint of an individual, we don't even call the other two states as a part of my life. We only call the waking as a part of my life. So first, the Shastra made us understand that waking is only 1/3 of the existing experience that you have. The complete experience is the three states, but Atma is the Sakshi of the three states. Now, this is a prakriya. That means with the help of the three states that I see as coming and going like on a conveyor belt, replacing each other, constantly an observant person understands through Shastra Vidya, whose Antakarnam is Shuddh, understands that if he wants to know what Atma is, he must not be a part of the three. Means he is a Sakshi of the three. Observing the Sakshi nature of oneself, identifying it, recognizing it, identifying it, जुड़ना उससे. हम किससे जुड़े हैं? अभी, what have we जुड़ोड ourselves with so far from what we have studied already? Is the question clear?
The body.
The body, correct. And through the body?
And the waking state?
Excellent. So what are we now judod with? The body and the waking state. Jude hai na hum, that is why we are experiencing that. Now, when we see ourselves through the help of the prakriya, that these three is not जिससे हम जुड़े हैं, we are the sakshi of the three. It's definitely very easy to understand. But that is why those who are serious about it, those who have been in the past serious, even to come to the point of recognition, the sakshi bhav, and that sakshi is also part of the three, in association with the three, Atma is distinct from all of this. It's not even a sakshi. Ultimately, you get to that point. But for the help of recognition to a student, this is what it would be, a methodology adopted so that our attention reduces from the overvaluing of the waking state and the identification with the body, and we identify with it to the extent it is necessary for Sharir Yatra and Vyavharik Drishti, but identifying with the Sakshitvam of the three states is indicative of Atma being pure existence. This is one prakriya. So how many have been done? Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatiriktaha. One of the Upanishads would elaborate it. Avasthatraya Sakshi, another Upanishad would elaborate it. And another Upanishad would elaborate it as third prakriya, which is panch kosha atitaha san. Remaining Atitaha, beyond, transcending, English translations. But Atitaha would mean it is not touched by them. It is not a part of them. Close to Vyatiriktaha. Vyatiriktaha meant absolutely separate in nature. Atitaha means separate in nature, not touched by it. Not touched at all by the panch koshas. That is now the topic that student further asked and said, what is the panch kosha? And the teacher is going to further elaborate on that. As we said, Tattva Bodha is one of the very introductory texts. So this author, Shankaracharya, we attribute to, has very kindly given a synopsis of the main points from all the Vedantic Prasthanatraya. So you will get an overview immediately. Yes. Amalinaha, correct. You get an overview immediately. First, you get introduced to it. In that aspect, he has covered all the essential points. And that is now the next topic, and the topic is pancha kosha. What is Atma? Panch koshatitaha san. This is one of the last ones in terms of negation. Remember one of the first classes we took when we started this verse? It is in the form of neti, in the form of what is not Atma. And what is not Atma is called an Atma. But panchakoshatitaha san. San means remaining. Hai. Atma is atit, beyond, transcending, absolutely distinct nature and untouched by the five koshas. That is Atma, not this. So the topic is panchakoshaha ki. And the teacher said Atma is panchakoshaha atitaha. The student is now wanting to know what is panchakoshas. We have never heard of all this. Panchakoshaha, I'll just repeat the verse and then take a little introduction. What are the five koshas? Annamayaha, Pranamayaha, Manomayaha, Vijnanamayaha, Anandamayaha cha iti. So it is enumerating it. Iti is the enumeration. I'll repeat this now. Hear the words. Annamayaha. When you hear them carefully, you will start getting some meaning. Prana mayaha. Mano mayaha. Vijnana mayaha. Ananda mayaha. Cha iti. So, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya and Anandamaya, in this manner, five koshas is not Atma. Separate from these five koshas, distinct from the five koshas. Now, why do you need to elaborate the five koshas? Isn't the first two definition enough for us to get to it? It is enough. In a way, it is enough. But when you need a little more meaning into it, if you have a little patience, I'm going to tell it, Ramakrishna ji. What was I saying? I request everyone, unless until there is a real point, otherwise I'm like the scrolling kind of. Have patience, let the topic get completed. It's a very important word. I'm definitely going to say it as the thought flow proceeds. What was I saying?
You were saying that all these five words are not Atma.
That's right. No, the topic was very, very important.
That
The topic is, correct, I got it. The topic is, when teacher has already said, gross body, subtle body, causal body is not Atma. That means we have got a drishti now, no? ये body मैं नहीं हूँ, आत्मा नहीं है. ये मेरा मन आत्मा नहीं है. और ये जहां से उत्पन्न हो रहा है, वो आत्मा नहीं है. बट जहां से उत्पन्न हो रहा था, वो हमें इतना ज्यादा हम प्लेस नहीं कर सकते. इट कैन ओनली बी इंडिकेटेड, inferred, karana sharir. So to help us understand, transcend a little more knowledge into it, get a little more knowledge into it, he elaborated the next, which was avasthatraya. That whatever is happening in the waking state, it goes in its resolute form, and where it goes is the karan sharir. So how it developed a perception a little more. Do you see the funneling? Are you able to appreciate the funneling? Yeah. So the minute he said gross, subtle and causal to a casual person, you will say, I have understood what is Atma. These three are not Atma. मैं शरीर नहीं हूँ. So you find in a casual way the whole world, Atma is not the body. So Atma is, especially when you are students of Gita also, then you are very, very clear in your head, Atma is sharir se alag hai, because you've heard it so often. But is that hearing giving you more clarity to be able to find your experience closer to what it is, Atma? After this, because Karan Sharir is not pointable, pickable in that sense, it's only inferable, therefore the Avasthatraya becomes more immediate a perception. Isn't it more closer now? I can see the Sakshi of the three. I have already understood कि शरीर आत्मा नहीं है. I can negate it very easily. Now I come a little more step closer. Avasthatraya experience that I am going in identification with the sharir. Isn't it? Only when I am identified with the gross body will I be able to experience the world. If I'm not in identification with the gross body, I don't experience the world. So when I am in experience of the world, gross body, automatically there is a waking world, and he elaborated the waking world, and now it has come closer. All this that I experience in the waking state is not me, the Atma, etc. Now these two seem to be so comprehensive. For any serious person who wants to get closer to the self, to Atma Vidya, ये तो बहुत सारा ज्ञान है. It's a lifetime work now. Yet the Prakriya, yet the author, yet the Upanishad, Shankara in particular, Prasthanatraya picking up, they elaborated from another angle again. So these three are only three different angles from which we are seeing the same thing. This must be clear. It's not describing something new. It is the same thing, same me, my life, my experience, which is being explained from different standpoints. And each standpoint is essential to draw a greater connection to the Vidya. Each standpoint becomes necessary to understand and complete the picture. So Panchakoshaha ki. What is Panchakosha? That is now the topic. Having enumerated these 5, let us first understand what is the word kosha. What is called kosha? Literal meaning of the word kosha is a sheath, covering. Some sort of a covering. And the example given in the Shastra most often traditionally handed down is, a sheath is something like a sword, has its own, uska ek naam hota hai, I don't remember the name ever. In which you keep the
Myan.
English mein, what is it called?
No idea.
That myan of the talwar. When you see a warrior whose myan is there, hanging from his waist, you automatically assume that the mayan is protecting the talwar. What is the purpose of the mayan? It by itself is not going to be doing the job of the talwar. It is not the sword. But to protect the dhara of the sword, it is as if there is an external covering to it. In the case of sword, there is a literal covering. Something to envelop the sword. It envelops the sword. Literally it means, koshaha is the Sanskrit word, the visarga after kosh. I haven't translated it properly, did not have the time for it. Koshaha is the word, 2 dots after kosh. The literal meaning means, if you go actually by the meaning of the word, it will become a sheath, a covering, external covering, which would mean 5 sheets covering Atma. If you understood Vedanta even this much, there should be something that must come up in your mind. Can anybody think of that?
Why does it need a covering?
Okay, why does it need a covering?
But Atma is everywhere, so how can it have a covering?
Absolutely. How can Atma have a covering? Moreover, we said Atma is absolutely distinct in the other two. Just as the sword is distinct from the covering. Correct. But to cover it, it should be limited by it. The sword must be inside the covering. That means the covering should be more enveloping, more pervasive. Only then can it cover the sword. Right? Logic? Huh? Only then can the sword be covering. So this covering that we see, otherwise the word would give us the impression that Atma has coverings. If Atma were to have a covering, then there's another fallacy that will arise. That the covering must also be real for it to be covered. स्वॉर्ड के ऊपर शीत है ना, तो शीत भी तो मयान भी तो है. दैट मीन्स ये जो पंचकोश कहा गया है, they must be enveloping the atma. That means atma is literally confined and restricted between the 5 sheets. So this is very important to understand that koshaha word in the literal sense is not the meaning here, because that would arrive into a fallacy. Atma cannot be covered. Atma is not covered. Atma alone is satyam. Sarvam mithya iti. The definition itself, before this prakriya started, definition itself says everything else is mithya. That means panchakosha would also fall into mithya. But yet, to come to the knowledge of Atma, this knowledge of panchakosha would mean something. So literally meaning, it is indicating that by saying this is a kosha, it says yahan pe kuch hai. By seeing the mayan, we say there is a possibility of the sword here. That means kosh ko mention karke, the Shastra is trying to tell us there is something here. There is Atma here. But Atma by itself is not covered by the sheath. Then what does koshaha mean? The koshaha actually means it is the pointing to the locus on which the self-error has taken place. वो स्थान, वो अधिष्ठान, where the error is taking place of what is Atma and what is not Atma. I'm going to repeat this because this is subtle. See, the first gross body, subtle body, causal body, उसमें causal body was subtle because वो दिखती नहीं है. Gross and subtle फिर भी दिखती है. And I told you at that time we have now entered Vedanta. It's only going to get subtler and subtler. Now you see that was much easier to understand. Now when you come to Avasthatraya, I said this is subtle. But now you see it is still easy to understand because it's experience based. Panch kosha, by mentioning the word kosha, it is talking to us at the level of identification where the self-error has taken place. I'm going to repeat a story. It is a manokalpitam story. I'm not fully, may miss a point or two. I may repeat it another time. I'm going to try. I go to, say, I have met a wise person. I'm going in a train and next to me is sitting some sadhu, sant. And as I see the sadhu sant and I get intrigued and I said, okay, let me start a conversation. And so I ask him, कि आप साधु क्यों बने? या आप साधु बन के क्या करते हैं? And he turns out to be my fortune. He turns out to be a Vedantic sadhu, sannyasi. So he says Vedanta. हमने पूछा वेदांता क्या होती है? कहते हैं आत्मविद्या. तो हमने पूछा ये आत्मविद्या क्या होती है? तो उन्होंने कहा आप क्या हो? मैंने बोला अरे what a strange question. इंसान हूं. इंसान तो ठीक है, आप और क्या हो? तो I said मेरा नाम दीप्ति है. नाम आपका दीप्ति है, और क्या हो? Very strange. He goes on. अरे दीप्ति, okay, I have so many brothers or sisters, or and I am studied this much, and I am a doctor, and I am etc. I am दीप्ति. Watch the words. उन्होंने मुझसे पूछा, मैंने उनसे पूछा आत्मविद्या क्या है. उन्होंने मुझसे पूछा आप क्या हो? आप कौन हो? अपना इंट्रोडक्शन दो. मैं दीप्ति हूं, मैं यहाँ रहती हूं, मैं यहाँ जा रही हूं, मेरा ऑक्यूपेशन ये है, मैं ये हूं. All the words start seeing. मैं दीप्ति हूं. We've done this a little bit in the past if you recollect. मैं दीप्ति हूं. मैं, 3 words. मैं दीप्ति हूं. ओके? किसको मैंने कहा? वेदांता ज्ञानी को. वेदांत ज्ञानी ने समझा हुआ है, जो मेरे को नहीं पता अभी. वो जानता है कि मैं आत्मा हूं. वो मुझे कहना चाहता है तुम आत्मा हो, तत्वमसि. लेकिन वो कहने के पहले मेरे तो समझ में आ ही नहीं सकती ना बात कि मैं आत्मा हूं. तो ही आस्क्ड मी, तुम क्या समझते हो अपने आप को? तुम क्या हो? नॉट इन दैट सेंस. व्हाट आर यू? हु आर यू? मैं, फर्स्ट कंपोनेंट. दीप्ति, second component. Third component. 3 components, but one idea. I am this name. मैं दीप्ति ही हूं. So that in a group of people, if someone calls, say, deep, I'm not turning back because मैं दीप्ति हूं, मैं दीप में ही हूं. दीप्ति का स्थान कहाँ है? लोकस कहाँ है? Where is the locus of Deepti?
We think it's somewhere inside the body.
We think somewhere inside the body. Okay. Where is the locus of Deepti? I'll make this simpler. Another example. A newborn baby just come into the world. Few hours. उसका भी कोई नाम नहीं है. And then the parents keep a name. अब ये नाम का स्थान कहाँ है? What is the locus of the name?
The whole body.
The body. Isn't it the name of the body? Because just before the name was kept, it could have been any name. Yes? No? The name of the body, स्थान कहाँ है उसका? नाम किसका है ये? हम कहते हैं मेरा नाम है. It's my name. Call me Deepti. आदर के साथ. Then it is my name. Deepti is my name. My name. ये नाम किसका है? Locus क्या है? I don't know another word for locus. Where is it placed? आधार कहाँ है इस नाम का? वो आधार शरीर है, बॉडी है. इस शरीर को नाम दिया गया है, मगर सेल्फ एरर हो गया, एक कंफ्यूजन हो गया, एक मिक्सअप हो गई है आइडेंटिटी. मैं दीप्ति हूं. मैं की आइडेंटिटी हूं का एग्जिस्टेंस, होने का एग्जिस्टेंस इस शरीर के लोकस के साथ जुड़ गया. Is this clear? मैं whatever I call as मैं is only the शरीर. मैं जब सन्यासी से पूछा तो उसने जब कहा आप कौन हैं, मैंने अपना नाम बता दिया, मैं दीप्ति हूं. How effortlessly did it come out? आप कौन हैं? I'm Deepti. Who are you? How effortless is it coming? That knowledge, that understanding so-called, that I am this name. But when you look at it a little deeper or closer, the minute this name has a placement, you see the placement of the name. Placement is a good word for locus. Take the example of the newborn child. This newborn child doesn't have a name still, but has the cognition, of course, supposing doesn't have a name throughout, but has a cognition of मैं हूं. Right? This much clear? Main hu is there. But the minute the name is put by the parents, kept by the parents, बीच में नाम आ गया, मैं दीप्ति हूं. दीप्ति का आधार कहां है? Before the name was given, I could have been Meera. My name could have been anything. And rest of my life, then उसके बाद मैं कौन हूं? अगर वही सन्यासी मुझसे तब पूछे, तो फिर मैं क्या हूं? तो वो मुझे कहनी, अच्छा आप दीप्ति हो? मैं कहूंगी, नो नो, आई एम नॉट दीप्ति, आई एम मीरा. मुझे फिर उसके बाद कोई दीप्ति बुलाए, विल आई टर्न? विच इज द लोकस? प्लेसमेंट क्या है? शरीर है प्लेसमेंट. नाम शरीर का है. इट इज नॉट ऑफ द सटल बॉडी. द एरर इज देयर because you people are not following the thought flow. I think it kind of distracts. Let me just concentrate here. If your questions will get answered at the end, I think we should keep the discipline of first listen to the topic and then question after the topic is complete, so that you get the knowledge first, then you think and then see where there is a doubt and then bring up the doubt. That's the right method. Even before the topic is completed, just on few sentences, if you will start asking questions, you will never get the full vision. So I think I'm probably going to just... So, subtle body is not... Don't get confused that fast. Let's just stick to this. Are you people clear about so far? Yeah?
Yes,
Okay, great. Yeah. Good, so far. Because it's a very, very subtle point, so don't get distracted into anything else. एंड अगर ये गुत्थी पकड़ ली ना, तो आगे चल के बहुत सारी गुत्थियां. नो प्रॉब्लम, देयर इज नो नीड टू अपोलोजाइज प्लीज. इट्स द मेथडोलॉजी, दैट्स ऑल. इट्स ओके, perfectly fine. It's just that it's so subtle that I don't want to deviate into start answering that because it's confusing. It's perfectly fine, please, no problem. Questions are meant to be brought up. Questions are meant to be taken up. I'm going to repeat this again. It was building very well. मैं दीप्ति हूं. मैं हूं is an experience. Okay? None of us can deny this. मैं हूं is an experience. मैं दीप्ति हूं. Is it a valid experience? नहीं ना? Do you see the flaw? मैं हूं. Correct. Because even before my name was, I was not okay, a child is not conscious, but child feels the hunger because he knows that वो है. Child cries when it's wet because उसको पता है कि वो है. He doesn't have the words, he doesn't have that development, still manifestation full, but he knows वो है. मैं हूं is an experience, but मैं हूं has taken a error in understanding because it's got mixed up with the body, the name, whose locus is the body. मैं हूं has got mixed up in the locus of the body. Glad you are understanding. Because my name could have been anything. लेकिन वो नाम जैसे ही शरीर के साथ जुड़ गया है, और वो होना था व्यवहारिक दृष्टि के लिए. We all, if we go back into our history, people have, I did once, I've forgotten now, long ago. There is a reason why the names have come out. Some people kept it on villages, some people kept it on profession. So names today have also had to be brought about at some point. Before that, there was no name. So today what has happened for us, or in avidya let's call it, what is there as a reality for me? मैं हूं के बीच में there is a locus, and that locus is sharir, placed at the level of the body. This locus at which the self error has taken place is called kosha. This is an example. I'm giving you an example of what is called a kosha. शरीर के स्थान पे, शरीर से जुड़ के एक आइडेंटिटी क्राइसिस आ गया है, एक आइडेंटिटी मिसप्लेस्ड हो गई है, एक आइडेंटिटी में कंफ्यूजन आ गया है, एरर आ गया है, जो मुझे डाउट नहीं है, मुझे डाउट नहीं है. द सन्यासी asked me, who are you? Fact came out. I am Deepti. If you ask me more, before marriage this was my name, after marriage this is my name. If you ask me more, I'll give you my height, I'll give you my weight, I'll give you a lot of details, because after that I'll go into my other koshas. At the moment I'm only giving you an example of one kosha. The example is also only to say, identify. This is very sukshma for years and years, and trust me on this, I will also be grappling with this even today. The topic is so subtle, and yet it is so immediate if you get it. To the extent you get it, you'll get it immediate. Kosha means वो स्थान जहां पे मेरी आइडेंटिटी मिसप्लेस हो गई है. मैंने अपने आप को शरीर समझ लिया. The minute I wake up, I am identified with my gross body, subtle body, causal body, going through the waking state, dreaming state, and sleep state. But the identification has happened at the level, say, of the body, and when it happens at the level of the body, I am believing myself to be the body. That is a self-error. That is an error in my identity recognition. I have misplaced my recognition of my identity. मैं हूं को I have misplaced it on the name, and the name belonged to the body. So I have misplaced my recognition of my identity to my body. Is it clear? To this extent, to the extent it's being said, don't go forward. To the extent it is said, is it clear? All of you? Huh? Divya and Ramakrishna, is it clear to that an extent?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not actually putting too much of brain in it for now.
No, not you, Divya. The other Divya. Okay? The ones who are on Facebook. So I'll repeat this once more. To understand kosha is very easy to say it's a sheath. That. It is very easy to say that Atma is distinct from these 5 koshas. But if you watch it, kosha word cannot be a literal covering on Atma. Atma cannot be covered. Then what is the need for this prakriya? जरूरत ही क्या है जब आत्मा को कुछ कवर ही नहीं कर सकता, तो why are you even mentioning to us why is this standpoint brought, why is this angle brought for reflection? Atma cannot be covered. One sentence finished. Because you have come to the 3rd layer of the depth of the vision. The error is taking place at the level of where the error is taking place, they are pointing it as kosh. तो जब शरीर पे एरर हो रहा है, तो it is शरीर is the kosh. जब वो सूक्ष्म शरीर पे एरर हो रहा है, I am happy, I am sad, I am angry, I am depressed, I am okay. If you've got this much Clear? If I say I am unhealthy, where has the error taken place?
Body.
Excellent. If I say I am depressed, where?
Mind.
It's a subtle
Mind.
body.
Excellent. If I say I am so exuberant and I will just rock the world. You wait and watch, man. I will rock the world. Where has it happened?
Emotional body.
Excellent. For now, because I haven't done any further, so accept it now. Supposing I say, पता नहीं आप क्या कहे जा रहे हो, कुछ समझ में तो आ नहीं रहा मेरे. I don't know, यार simple बाकी सारी classes इतनी चलती रहती है YouTube पे. It's so much easier listening to it to other. The 5 koshas, Atma is not the 5 kosha. 5 koshas are pranam, annamaya, pranamaya, manomaya. So clear it is. I'm not understanding anything, what you're saying. Where is the error?
Sukshma Sharir again.
Sukshma Sharir
Mental
again.
body.
Mental body. But exactly where would it be? You will get to know. Don't worry if you don't know. But you're right, 100%. Sukshma Sharir it is. Okay. Supposing I say, I don't have any energy. I generally don't have.
Thul.
Physical.
Cool.
Physical body.
Physical body. And I don't have any energy.
Oh, is this the Pranamaya Kosh?
It's also
What
the
is-
mental body.
Mind.
But primarily, what is pranas controlling? When you did the panch pranas, if you remember, prana is your basic shakti of the body.
All the
Digestive, all the systems, absolutely. Yes, associated with the gross body and the subtle body. So see how they are all connected. That is why they will all be overlapping. It is the vision from where you have to make the correction. So the word of kosha implies that the identity has got mixed up at that placement. So everything will fall in gross body and subtle body because Karan body, all three bodies. But at which level is the mistake happening? Because I am believing myself to be okay, supposing I say I'm so dark. I wish I was a little more fairer. Error at?
Physical body.
Physical and mental.
Mm-mm. Mental only if I'm suffering. At the moment, color is, I've identified with the color of the body. I'm so dark.
whole sharir.
बॉडी के गुण का साथ जुड़ गए ना हम. बट आई एम को मैंने जोड़ दिया बॉडी के गुण के साथ. एरर हो गया ना. I started believing I am dark. And then came the Sukshma Sharir. I am dark. I want to be a little more fairer because the world accepts more fair people. And the fair people want to go to all places where there's sunlight. And they want to get tanned. Are you beginning to get glimpses?
Yeah.
The idea is, very good. The idea is Vedanta's point to be driven is only one. That what is our real nature is Atman. Atman is Brahman. Everything else is incidental. Everything else is only appearance. But to whom it is said, that is already a mixed up identity. मिक्स हो चुकी है वो, क्योंकि जब वो उठे हम सुबह तो हम शरीर के साथ जुड़ के ही कहा ना आई एम अवेक. अपने मन के साथ जुड़ के ही तो मैंने कहा अरे आई एम सो हैप्पी टुडे. अपने बुद्धि के साथ जुड़ के ही तो मैंने कहा कि अरे आई वांट टू नो दिस टुडे. that जुड़ने में जो मैंने अपने आप को इनके गुणों के साथ जोड़ लिया, शरीर के गुण मैंने अपने बोल दिए, मन के गुण को मैंने अपना बोल दिया, बुद्धि के व्यापार को मैंने अपना बना लिया, जब ये जुड़ गया तो मेरी आइडेंटिटी ही मैंने इसको मान ली, मेरा स्वरूप मैंने इसको मान लिया। अरोरा अंकल जी बहुत एंजॉय कर रहे हैं, आई एम एंजॉयिंग दैट ही इज एंजॉयिंग। When I start accepting that alone to be me, तो वेदांता को तो क्या वो जो बैठा था मेरे साथ ट्रेन में, बैठे थे मेरे साथ ट्रेन में, उन्हें तो मुझे कहना पड़ेगा ना, जी नहीं ये तो तुम्हारा नाम है, नाम तो तुम्हारे शरीर के साथ, जब तुम्हारा क्रिमेशन होगा तो तुम्हारे डेथ सर्टिफिकेट के बाद उसकी वैल्यू ही नहीं रह गई, उस नाम का कुछ नहीं है, क्योंकि उस नाम को पकड़ने वाला कोई नहीं है। तुम्हारे फैमिली के लिए बहुत जरूरी होगा वो सर्टिफिकेट, डू नॉट हैव इश्यूज, बट तुम्हारे नाम का सिग्निफिकेंस is only up to the point of you having experience of this body. But you concluding yourself to be the body is an error of identity. आपने अपना स्वरूप को शरीर माना है, इसलिए शरीर के सब गुण और विकार जो हो रहा है, षड विकार, उसमें मैं भी षड विकारी हूं। So kosha basically implies the sthan, the placement at which the error has taken place, and that placement at which the error takes place, self-error takes place, is already another experience that we have. I am this name, I am this body, I am this feet, I am this feet, I am this weight, I am this color, and everything happens after these self-conclusions. So if I think I have put on a lot of weight, if I think I am fat, then I want to lose weight. If I think I am absolutely, then I want to put on weight. But the minute I call myself these qualities of the body as myself, they may have a vyavharik relevance. We don't deny this at all. But are they the swarupik of your nature? Is this weight of the body your weight of Atma? Is this the color of the body, the color of the Atma? No. Is the knee, pain in the knee, pain of Atma? आत्मा को बहुत दर्द हो रहा है, मेरा घुटना सूजा हुआ है, आत्मा सूजी हुई है। Does it even work like that? Most of the Vedantic, if you understand this much, you will start seeing and start unfolding the errors. Vyavharically, please continue. No change will happen. And that means when I go to the doctor, I'm not supposed to be saying, which body, which knee, and why did you go to the doctor? So if I get, by God, if I'm breathless, I better take care, I better get treated. The body needs treatment. The body needs treatment, and I need the life. I need this body to do something in the life, in my life, in life. This body is my gift, and I need to preserve it. I have a dharma for it. I have a duty towards it. Because only in association with the body am I ever going to hear my nature, which Vedanta is telling me. And only if I hear it, Is there a possibility of that anugraha in my life that I may see its truth? That doesn't deny the relative reality of the body. But till I have heard or understood that this Atma is the topic of Vedanta, spoken to one who doesn't see the distinction today. उसको नहीं समझ में आता है कि स्थूल शरीर, सूक्ष्म शरीर, कारण शरीर, waking state, dream state, अब now on top of it panch kosha. इन सबसे व्यतिरिक्त अगर इसको intellectually रखा, it is just a thought engagement. But the minute it becomes an understanding that this is self-error at this place, इसका स्थान ये है. So many statements and thoughts of ours are our self-conclusions because of identification on that placement. That placement is the kosha. And now just to coming back, what are the 5 koshas? He said Annamaya. Annamaya kosha. Pranamaya kosha. Maya word in itself has come. I'll just take 2 minutes more to complete the topic because the questions also come. Tomorrow I was going to take it otherwise in details, but let me just mention it. Maya is actually from a Sanskrit suffix mayat. It's a suffix which kind of indicates. One way is vikar, and another way is ghana, means full of. That means, better example that we all identify with is a gold necklace. If I ask you, ये किससे बना है?
Gold.
It's pure gold. Then what will you say?
Swarnamaya.
Ah, excellent. Swarnamaya. What is that necklace? Pure gold necklace? Swarnamaya. It's a laukik vyavharik word. We use it very often. What is a pot that is made of clay? Bharpur. Not bharpur in the real sense. It is made of that only. Every part of it is only that. Now, what did I say?
Pot is made of
Clay
clay.
pot.
Pot is made of clay. So what is clay? Mrit. So what is pot? Mritmaya. All of it is, there will be no part in that necklace which is not gold if it's made of pure gold. Silver is called what in Hindi?
Chandi.
Chandi, and there's another word also. Chandi Maya. That Maya means what? Completely, pura. It is, no part of it is not that. So now you start seeing word with all of them. Annamaya means it is completely made of annam. Means you can't say made of, it's a vikar of annam. Pranamaya, vikar of pran. Remember the example of the pot and the ornament always in this example. If there's a necklace, gold mayam, swarna mayam means it's a vikar of swarna itself. It's got just another nama roop. Manomaya, vikar of man, manas. Vijnanamaya, knowledge, intellect, call it.
It's amazing that knowledge can also be a vikar.
It's a thought vikar. That is the excellent question. Excellent question. Why? Because all knowledge that we think of is knowledge of something, which is a thought vikar. Atma is all knowing principle, which is all knowledge, which is not a thought process. That is why this prakriya is necessary. Absolutely excellent. Gone ahead, but gone in the direction in which it is said. Excellent. That's why you're Anandamaya. It is Ananda, full of Anand, Vikar of Anand. We'll touch that when we come to it. Now you will see all of the three bodies. Tomorrow we'll get into this. Three bodies. Annamaya. Actually, let's do it tomorrow only. There will be a question also on it. What is Annamaya Kaha? If you see what is Annamaya, he says Sthula Shariram. But why is it Annamayam? We'll take it tomorrow. Okay? I think we'll end here. We'll end the class here. And if any one of you has any question, please do write it. And you can definitely send it. I'll take them up. If I'm not taking it in class, I'll take it up separately later. But you may please clarify your doubts. I'm talking to the Facebook people. So you, all of you, listen fully first. The topic is not complete. So just listen to it first and absorb. And then what question comes up, bring that up. Okay? So please conclude. Jim?
सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्
Dukha bhag bhavet.
दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यं परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषा गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Deepti ji.
Thank you so much.